Good evening, parents and guardians. My name is Wonuola Yomi Odedeyi, the Acting Experiential Learning Lead K-12 at Halton District School Board. I am very happy to welcome you to our presentation tonight on the skilled trades and technology information evening. The purpose of this event is to shine light on the various options that are available for your children and wards on the skilled trades pathways at HDSB. Before we begin, I would like to read the land acknowledgement. I, Wonuola Yomiodedeyi, on behalf of the Halton District School Board and those present here tonight, would like to honor the land and territory on which this event is taking place. Halton, as we know it today, is rich in history and modern traditions of the First Nations and the Metis, from the Anishinaabe to the Atawandaran, the Odinosoni, and the Metis. These lands surrounding the Great Lakes are steeped in indigenous history. As we gather today on these treaty lands, we have the responsibility to honor and respect the four directions: land, waters, plants, animals, ancestors that walked before us, and all of the wonderful elements of creation that exist. We would like to acknowledge and thank the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation for sharing their traditional territory with us. The connection I would like to make for us with the reading of the land acknowledgement tonight is to draw our attention to the Halton District School Board in hosting the Directors Panel Series on Identity, Inclusion, and Human Rights for students, staff, and community members to raise awareness on historical and contemporary challenges on identity, equity, inclusion, and human rights. The next session will focus on Indigenous perspectives on decolonizing education and land. This event will take place on Tuesday, April 26th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. The full details are posted on the www.hdsp.ca website. I will also like to give an overview of tonight's agenda, which are: welcome to the Skilled Trades and Technology event at HDSB. We're going to have a keynote address by Jamie Macmillan, who is a skilled trades advocate. We're also going to hear from Angela Wilkins, who is Skills Ontario Liaison Officer. Then we're going to open it up for question and answer period. Should you have any question for any of the presenters tonight on the skilled trades and technology, please feel free to visit bit.ly/22HDSB trades. Please complete the form by adding your questions and they will be answered at the end of the presentation. Remember to hit the submit button at the bottom of the said form. I will now hand over to my colleague, Wade Richardson, who is the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Recruiter at the Halton District School Board. Please join me in welcoming Wade. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Wade Richardson, OEAP recruiter for the Halton District School Board. What are the skilled trades? The skilled trades are typically workers that build, maintain the infrastructure of our homes and the items we use every day. And without skilled trades workers in any of the 144 skilled trades, really in the economy and everything we do on a daily basis would not exist. So the skilled trades do require a combination of activity-based work and applying knowledge in that trade. And it also is always a typically combination of paid and on-the-job training while they're at work and in-class training, typically at a local college. So why the skilled trades? Because the skilled trades provides opportunities for career advancement and is rewarding in demand, and has multiple career paths. The skilled trades are really satisfying careers. The trades people see the finished product and have pride in their accomplishments, and whether they have designed, built, or repaired something. They have often will drive along the road and they will see things that they've done, and they can tell their friends and family about all the accomplishments they have done while working in a skilled trade. One of the nice things about skilled tradespeople is apprentices learn from skilled tradespeople who pass on their knowledge to the next generation. And apprentices, again, are paid while they learn and often will complete their apprenticeship with no debt. By 2025 is expected in Canada to have a skilled trades labor shortage of approximately 1.2 million workers. And that's one of the reasons we're here talking about the skilled trades, because there are great opportunities for students to have long, meaningful careers in the skilled trades. Because currently we know that 40% of the employment in Canada is in the skilled trades. And the skilled trades has no gender. Women can perform any job as well or better than their male counterparts. Women are increasingly joining the skilled trades, completing their apprenticeships, and becoming licensed trades professionals. Tradespeople are often progressed to inspectors, entrepreneurs, and managers as their knowledge grows. And really, the opportunities for skilled tradespeople is endless, because a lot of times I will talk to students, and the skilled trades, it typically takes 2 to 5 years to complete an apprenticeship. But once that apprenticeship is completed, typically what happens is that person may go off to be an employer. They may go off to be in some sort of business. They could be a teacher, an inspector. There's all sorts of avenues that jumps off from once a skilled trades person becomes licensed in that trade. So HDSB and the skilled trades. So students in grades 7 to 12 all experience in education and career life planning programs and the development of their individual pathways. So the HDSB has a long history of supporting the skilled trades and technologies and exploration opportunities for those students. The board does have many community partnerships that support experiential learning and opportunities in the trades. Students can explore the skilled trades in high school through many different ways. Technological education courses are an opportunity for students to learn some of the skilled trades or some of the skills needed in the skilled trades. The students experience a small segment of the skilled trade while taking those courses of interest. These courses, students learn to work safely and are exposed to safe practices and use of tools currently used in industry. Another opportunity for students is to take co-op courses in grade 11 and 12. Students can choose an employer and work alongside them and experience what that employer does on a day-to-day basis. Students often experience many trades during co-op, and this allows them to make informed decisions about their future career choices. And there are many pathway programs in the HDSB, from Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program and Specialist High Skills major programs. Are programs where students can focus on specific areas of interest. Students who choose those specialty programs graduate with certificates they can use after graduation. Some examples would be working at heights, first aid training, and there is many more. There's also a lot of extracurricular activities for students to explore the skilled trades and learn skills while doing that. Some of the examples could be they have first robotics programs, there's auto club, there's all sorts of programs that students should really explore and see what is right for them. There are many skilled trades connected to technology education classes, and there's a large variety of classes that relate to construction, automotive service, hairstylist, welder, and many more. And If you'd like to take a look inside and take a peek and see what those classes look like, you can take a 3D tour through the the HDSB website. And a shortcut for it would be the bit.ly/exploring tech ed. Also, parents and students and employers can learn about the different programs and the courses and what those students will learn in those courses by listening to Exploring Apprenticeship in the Skilled Trades podcast. I'll now pass it on to Manola.
Thanks, Wade. The big question in our minds as parents, guardians, and even students, especially the parents and guardians, is what do I do next after this presentation? And I will tell us, we are encouraged to do the following. We need to speak to our children's teacher, our words teachers about specific school opportunities. We need to learn more about the opportunities offered by skilled trade specific organization. We need to take technological education courses in high school, especially the students, and the parents need to encourage them to take those courses. We need to learn more about the OYAP, which is Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, and CHISM, Specialized High Skills Major Programs in the HDSB. We also need to research skilled trades opportunities by going to bit.ly/skilled trades resources. Remember that we need to visit bit.ly/22 HDSB trades to fill in the Google form to ask your questions. Remember to also hit submit, because sometimes we fill in the form and we don't remember to hit submit. So for us to get your questions, you have to hit the submit button. I'm going to hand over to Wade now.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure this evening to introduce our guest speaker tonight, Ms. Jamie McMillan, a passionate skilled tradesperson and advocate. She is a trailblazer in encouraging and mentoring girls and women to earn their wings in becoming a skilled tradesperson. We're going to watch a short video.
Thank you so much for having me today, and I'm really excited to be here. And I will get to give a little chat about some of the stuff that I've learned and how construction is one of the best pathways and turned out to be such an amazing opportunity for me. If I were to go back to elementary school, I will tell you, I was not a good student. I was the kind of student that no teacher wants in the classroom. I had really bad ADHD and learning disabilities. I was a headache for my parents, and I got in trouble a lot. And by the time I got to high school, I'd already been through 5 different schools because I was unmedicated, and I was just that student that wasn't going to learn academically. And there's a lot of people like that. Not everybody is an academic learner. And for years, that was how the school system was set up. But I am so grateful that now we are starting to recognize that people who are visual and hands-on learners are just as brilliant as people who are academic learners. So by the time I got to high school, of course, high school offers you opportunities that you never get before then. And this is opportunities to do those elective programs. And those elective programs are all these great classes that help you explore your future. So they're no longer those compulsory courses the government forces you to take. You get to pick for yourself. And so these are the classes where you need to really explore. And if you want to be successful in life and you want to be well-rounded and independent, I think there's a few classes that everybody should take, because these are the classes that I excelled in, but nobody really pushed them on me or told me that I could have a future career in them. So classes like shop classes. So everybody wants a vehicle someday, and yet not everybody thinks that, wow, taking a transportation or automotive class is going to really help me throughout my life and could save me in the middle of the bush when I have a flat tire with no reception. Those are so the practical life skills. Taking those construction classes to learn how to maintain, somewhere you live, if you have a house or a cottage in the future. There's a lot of things that cost a lot of money to do. Now, one of the things that I did in high school is I did take those shop classes, but nobody told me that apprenticeship was a pathway. Nobody told me that technical programs in colleges even existed. And for a lot of people, it works to go to a technical college and learn and then go and get an apprenticeship or an employer in the aftermath. But for me, as a person who did not like to sit still and did not like to be in school, taking an apprenticeship would have been key. And unfortunately, according to the video that you just seen, you will discover that I didn't find out about it for years after. The first pathway I did take, however, was the pathway my parents wanted me to take. Even though I didn't want to go to college, my parents kind of really pushed me into a nursing program. So, of course, I found the shortest one I could find. I became a personal support worker. And for me, that was all that mattered. As long as I got a college certificate to make my parents happy and it was something they wanted me to do, that was awesome. And oftentimes, our guardians, they love us. Parents love us. They want the best for us in life. And in most cases, at least I know in my case for sure, my parents knew me better than I knew myself. And oftentimes they're correct. We would be good at some of the things that they're telling us that we'd be good at. But in my case, it wasn't a career that I enjoyed for a very long time. So when I found skilled trades, when I ran into that girl that day in Hamilton, Ontario, I was 500 miles from home in a town of 500,000 people. I didn't think I knew anyone in this town. And this girl, who happened to be actually my high school enemy, was the one that pulled over on the side of the road. And she's the one that told me what I should have known all along. Now, thank gosh today, I wish we had programs like this when I was in high school, having those programs like the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, SHISM programs, the opportunities to go to Skills Ontario's competitions and to go and see and experience different employers and exhibitors. That's an amazing opportunity. And again, that stuff didn't happen when I was younger. So now the students of today have so much more opportunity. The other thing that is huge right now is that despite the fact that the pandemic was really awful, it taught us what jobs are pandemic proof. And skilled trades happen to be one of the jobs that did not stop. As long as there is human life on this planet, these careers are going to continue. So something that's really, really important is that we have to understand that we all have the choices. I was never, ever happy in life with my career as much as I became ecstatic about being in construction. When I was in construction 20 years ago, there wasn't very many women on the job site. In fact, we didn't have social media yet, so we didn't realize how many women were actually out there. There was times I was the only girl on a job site with 400 men, and there was a lot of men that told me I shouldn't be there and I shouldn't do it. But the truth was, I could do my job just as good as them. And so at first I took it personally. I really used to get hurt over it. But eventually I started to realize if I love my job so much and I am good at my job and this is what I want to do, then why should I let anybody discourage me from doing that? Why should I believe anyone who tells me that I should be somewhere else or that I can't do what the guys are doing? And so after a while, I started to sort of change my mindset about it. Instead of looking at it and letting it discourage me and get me down, I decided to turn the tables. And I started to say, okay, the more these people try to tell me that I can't do my job, rather than taking that negativity and turning it around and feeling bad about it, I'm going to take that negativity and I'm going to use it as my fuel. It is going to help motivate me to do my job better. And I started waiting for these people to tell me things like that, telling me I couldn't do it. Now, it wasn't everybody. There's only a few people that would be, a little bit rough and tough around the edges because I'm an iron worker and iron working is a tough job. In fact, it's considered one of the top 10 most dangerous jobs in the world. So you have men there that are big and strong and like to show that. It's a pride thing and I get it. But there was also the other men, a lot of them, who just wanted to take you under their wing. They wanted to teach you and show you. And the more ambition that you showed and the more motivation you showed and the better your work ethic was, these people were thriving off the idea of being someone who was contributing to the success of your life and how good of a tradesperson you would become. So I started to challenge the ones that didn't think that I should be there. And I started saying, all right, you don't think I should be here? Okay, tell me more. I want to hear more. Keep telling me that I can't be here because all you're doing is making me work harder. You're making me work harder to prove you wrong because I am good at my job. Sorry, this is my 4th presentation today. My throat's a little dry. Success is the best revenge. And I later found out how important that message was. At the end of many, many jobs over the years, and I've been an iron worker now for 20 years. Throughout my journey as an iron worker, I've worked on job sites across Canada. I have built gas and oil plants. I have worked in those mines and mills. I've worked on jobs up in Fort McMurray around the time of the fire. And skilled trades has provided me with a sustainable lifestyle. I can afford everything I want in life. And not only that, we all have bucket lists, right? All these bucket dreams that we want to do in life. Skilled trades has also offered me the opportunity to do all of those things. If you were to look back at me in school, I was that girl that was told that I was stupid and I was never going to amount to anything in life. I was picked on and bullied in grade school for having ADHD and being put in special education classes. But when I discovered construction, it turned out to be the best medication for my ADHD. For a girl who didn't want to go to college, who knew that I could be just as successful as anybody else? I ended up getting an apprenticeship under my belt. And that apprenticeship to me is just like any other degree. College or university, it's the same thing. But I didn't have to pay for it. In fact, I can take my certificate and I can work anywhere in the world. If I decide I want to go backpacking through New Zealand tomorrow and I run out of money, I can jump on any job site because that certificate says that I'm qualified to work on construction sites globally. That's pretty impressive. I have been able to take my career and I've been able to get so many certifications throughout my career. In my career, I don't have to pay to upgrade my skills. My employer pays for that, or my union pays for that. All the certifications I've received for free through my work. In fact, it's not that I even received them for free. I was paid to receive those certifications on the job site while I was learning. And all those certifications are worth thousands of dollars. Getting a welding ticket. People go to college and pay for private programs sometimes to take these tickets. I got them for free. I've been able to travel. That was for free. And because I have so many transferable skills, because I'm working on job sites with all these other people, I'm learning all types of other skills. In fact, I became a journey person iron worker back in 2005. And then in 2016, I started an apprenticeship as a Boilermaker because I was working on a job site. I had transferable skills and was able to take all that ironworker experience. And when the ironworkers slowed down, I was able to jump over to the Boilermakers as a permit, loved it. And instead of just working on the bones of buildings, now I can work on the organs and vessels of buildings, building tanks, ships if I want, working in the oil sands. And that's amazing. Not only that, but some people think that skilled trades are a hard, heavy job. Sometimes we look at it and think, oh, it's dirty, it's hard work, it's going to break your back. Well, there's a lot of really tiny people in skilled trades that are succeeding because nowadays we have technology. We are working smarter, not harder. We're using our brains instead of our backs. We've got all types of tools and equipment that are ergonomically friendly that are helping us do our job better, so that anybody can be in skilled trades if they have the passion and drive. We need artists. We need people who play sports that have discipline. People from the military, they can come into the trades. So many different opportunities. If you're a gamer, man, you'd probably make a great crane operator or heavy machine operator. There's so many things. Who knew that for somebody like me, skilled trades would blow up my world? Here I am years later. I've worked across Canada. I've got 2 full trade tickets. I've been on the most amazing sites and worked with people from all over the world. I've had a chance to do joint health and safety. I've been a foreman. And then somebody asked me to speak in a school one day. And years later, here I am, a professional speaker with my own company. I get to travel all over the world living my bucket dreams, not only working on the tools if I want to travel for that, but also talking to people and influencing the lives of others and letting parents know that, you know what, these are great paths. They're not those paths that you look at and that you can frown on, because I'm going to tell you honestly, some of the skilled trade workers that I work with make more than those people who went to university that have those certificates. And a lot of those people are going to spend their lifetime paying back thousands of dollars in loans that they took out for school. Or maybe you're going to second mortgage your house to send your kids off to school. Or maybe they're going to have to work their butt off while they're in school so that they can pay for their school and still maintain their grades. But in skilled trades, you have an opportunity while you're in high school to start working towards your apprenticeship through different programs that they have, like the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, so that by the time you come out of high school, rather than actually going off to college or university, you can start earning while you're learning. A job site is your classroom. Your coworkers are your teachers. You only spend 10% of the time in most cases in school, and that entire time is often paid for. These are great opportunities, not opportunities for anybody to say are low-class opportunities. Skilled trades are not for dumb people. They are for some of the most creative people. And honestly, when you get into skilled trades, there's no end to the opportunities that you can get into. I know several people who are engineers now, and they started with an apprenticeship. They finished it, and they are the best engineers because they understand structures. And that's pretty awesome. You don't want a doctor that's going to dig into your body if they don't have experience using the tools. You wouldn't want a tradesperson to do your work for you without that experience. They could start getting that experience while they're in high school. It's amazing. So for anybody out there who has frowned upon the skilled trades, I want you to think about this pandemic that just happened. How many people with great careers all of a sudden sat at home because they were not considered essential? I know people who lost their houses, their vehicles, because of the financial stress. Relationships were ruined. But those people who had those essential jobs, they kept powering through, maintained a substantial income. In fact, some people made more money during the pandemic in skilled trades than they ever made in their life. My sister is an HR manager for Home Depot, and they had their biggest sales in the past 2 years. And skilled trades people were never slower. In fact, there's people who have waited months and months just to get a skilled professional to their home to fix something. And if they would have taken some shop classes in school, they could have learned themselves, and maybe they would have found out that they really loved it, and they would have considered another career. One of the stats I know for a fact, because I have spent many years now advocating on behalf of the skilled trades and trying to change the mindsets about how amazing these careers are, is that these careers are for life, and they offer practical life skills. And the pandemic just proved that no matter what, these skills, these jobs, these careers are going to be around forever. So please don't ever disparage skilled trades. Look at them and look at all the opportunities. And if you're considering skilled trades, or anybody else is considering skilled trades, I want you to remember that there's a percentage of people that have gotten into the skilled trades. And I'm going to say the highest percentage of people entering the skilled trades right now are between 26 and 30, because nobody told them that this was a lucrative pathway that they can take. They've gone to college and university, and they can't find a career in the pathway that they want. And now they're turning to skilled trades, and they're getting paid more than they ever thought. And now they're saying, why didn't anybody tell me about this years ago? Well, I'm here to tell you today that skilled trades saved my life and gave me a purpose. And just a few years ago, because I'm an advocate for skilled trades, I went from being that girl in school that nobody thought would succeed in life to being called out on national TV as one of 3 people that the federal government chose to be part of a skilled trades campaign to promote skilled trades as first choice pathways across this country. And that day, Justin Trudeau made the announcement, and my name was mentioned. Jamie McMillan was chosen as one of those 3 people. And I am now able to have an impact on thousands of lives and hopefully change the mindset of people who don't believe that these jobs are amazing. I'm a living, breathing proof that skilled trades are amazing. So I look forward to any questions you have, and I will hand it back to the team. And you guys are going to hear something amazing by Angela from Skills Ontario. And that is one of my favorite programs that promote skilled trades as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jamie, for that insightful presentation. And as a truck and coach mechanic, I couldn't agree more that it is a lifelong career, that you may not stay in that particular skilled trade doing the same task, the same job your entire career, and it will change as technology changes. But there's so many different opportunities in the skilled trades, and the people listening should really understand that currently Ontario, the average age of an apprentice is 28, as Jamie said. But just to build on that, 40% of those apprentices have a college or a university degree, and for whatever reason, they have chosen to be a skilled trades person. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Angela Wilkins. Thank you very much for coming, Angela.
Thanks, Wade. So hi, everyone. So Jamie's always really hard to follow because her story is so amazing and inspirational. So I'm only going to talk for a really short amount of time, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about some opportunities or programs or events basically that you can kind of sign up for if you are interested in sort of testing out some careers in the skilled trades. So again, my name is Angela and I'm the liaison program manager at Skills Ontario. Skills Ontario is a not-for-profit organization that promotes careers in the skilled trades and technologies to the youth of Ontario. So some of the things that we do, we actually do lots of different things like competitions that Jamie sort of mentioned a little bit earlier on. But one of the things I'm going to sort of point you to is our app. So we do have a free app that you can download if you want to download on all of the different app stores. And the really cool thing about it is that sometimes it's hard to know what trade to get into or sort of what you would be good at. So there is an aptitude test that you can take. I know test is maybe a boring word, but it's kind of a fun test that you can take where it will tell you sort of which tech careers would suit you and which skilled trades careers would suit you. So I encourage you to download the app and explore careers in the skilled trades and technologies with us. So Skills Ontario prioritizes creating equal opportunities for all youth through accessible and inclusive programs. We are committed to removing barriers and serving all Ontarians through opportunities to explore their career pathways. As an organization, we strive to build a diverse and inclusive skilled workforce. So if you want to get involved in some of the events that we're running, every Wednesday in April, we will be hosting a virtual event series specifically for newcomers to Canada, youth and guardians, to explore and educate about skilled trade and technology supports and pathways that we have, including information on applying to apprenticeship programs. So everyone is encouraged to register for that, and you can do that on our website at skillsontario.com. And then on June 1st, we will be having our Urban Tech Conference, which is an informative, interactive, and hands-on virtual experience where participants will be able to learn about technology careers, engage in panel discussions, and participate in workshops. Skills Ontario's First Nation, Métis, and Inuit initiatives aim to increase the awareness of Indigenous youth in the rewarding career opportunities that exist in the skilled trades and technologies. Our Trades and Tech Days happen all throughout the year, and more information about them can be found on our website. They're an opportunity for youth who identify as First Nation, Métis, Inuit, and non-status to meet and network with community members who have already chosen a career in the skilled trades and technologies. So youth can learn about the journey of these mentors and explore their interests through experiential activities. Skills Ontario's Young Women's Initiatives is a collection of engaging and hands-on event programs that provide skills development and mentorship programs to young women. So at the end of March and twice in April, actually it's today, and twice in April, we will be holding Parent Guardian Information Nights, which just connects guardians with certain high school programs that kind of lead to apprenticeship programs and then to employers. And they provide basically thought-provoking conversations that challenge the stigmas behind careers in the skilled trades. And then on May 3rd, we are having our virtual annual Young Women's Conference and our virtual FNMI conference. So they both happen on the same day. These events are, for the Young Women's Conference, these events are geared towards young women in grades 7 to 10 and their parents and guardians, but everyone is welcome to participate. Oh, sorry. So we do have another thing that is maybe, so I know that a lot of you are guardians for secondary school students, but these are also for students who are entering grade 9. So they're summer camps. They're called summer camps. Basically, they're workshops. So you can go to workshops at local colleges throughout the summer, and you can sort of test out careers in the skilled trades. So you can test out carpentry or welding and sort of various other skilled trades all throughout the summer. And that's really it for me. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Angela. That was very informative, and thank you to Jamie as well. The passion shows, the care shows, the commitment shows. And as a skilled trades person as well, I can actually relate. I also have a hairdressing license, so we know that skilled trades are nothing to sniff about. So we encourage our parents, guardians, and even our students to explore the opportunities, because there are so many pathways that we can end up in. So now that we have come to the end of the presentation tonight, we're going to open the floor for questions. And wow, we have so many questions that have already come in. So the first one is the parent said, my son is a high functioning ASD in a private school. Are there opportunities for him to join clubs or explore the trades? Also, any way for him to take a course or tutor to see what skilled trades may and apprenticeship may be like. So Wade, I will direct that question to you.
Typically, to join any of the clubs or extracurriculars, you would really need to be, that person would need to be an Halton District School Board student. But there are lots of different opportunities if that student did want to become an HDSB student with the board. But unfortunately, most of the extracurriculars or those courses, the student would need to be a student enrolled in the HDSB.
Thank you very much, Wade. This next question I'm going to direct to Angela. Are there summer jobs in the trades? And I believe that Wade too can answer this. So it's going to be a tag team. Are there summer jobs in the trades for high school students, and how do we find them?
So I think actually probably Wade, you would probably be better at answering this question than me, but I just wanted to follow up to the previous question and say that as an organization at Skills Ontario, we have made the decision this year to make all our events accessible for people with ASD. So we do hand out sensory bags and noise canceling headphones at all of our events. So you can go on our website and you can come to any one of our events or competitions or workshops, and we will accommodate. But I definitely think Wade would be better at answering this particular question than I am.
Absolutely. Quite often we do see a lot of students who have summer jobs in the skilled trades. And a lot of the most common one is we will see students who are in a co-op. And when they're with co-op employee, that employee often will hire them for a summer job in the skilled trades if they are a good fit. But if your child has something they would really like to try out, and it is a great opportunity to test drive something to find out whether it fits for them and they like doing it, they can find a summer job as long as they can match up with an employer and do virtually any skilled trade or participate. They may not be able to participate as much in some of the trades as others, because some of them are what we call compulsory trades, where you have to be either registered as an apprentice or a licensed tech in that trade. But any of the non-compulsories, there's lots of different opportunities to participate in the skilled trades. And quite often in high school, if they're in a co-op, some students do register as apprentices and work on that summer job and accumulate their hours and have started their apprenticeship while they're in high school. So there are lots of opportunities for students to do that, to start a career in a skilled trades, or even test drive and find out whether it is or is not right for them. Because if they can find out it's right for them, great. If they find out it's not right for them without spending time at college or some another learning after they graduate high school, that is perfect.
Thank you very much, Wade and Angela. This next question is for our keynote speaker. And the question is, what advice would you give to a student who is disengaged from school right now? So the student is in school, but they're not engaged right now. So what advice would you give to such a student based on your lived experience?
That's a good question for me. I was that student. I was the student who hated school. And I didn't mention it in my presentation, but I did struggle a lot in school, and I dropped out my last semester when I had to get those compulsory credits that were so badly needed, because I didn't care about furthering my education. I wasn't engaged. What I would say is, honestly, I lived that life, living paycheck to paycheck on minimum wage, working at McDonald's because I didn't have that career. Now, I'm not disparaging against McDonald's. It was one of my very favorite jobs, and I still have friends who work there to this day, and now they're in management. And they make really good money. All jobs are good jobs. But what I would say is, if you want to have a sustainable lifestyle, there's many, many different career paths, and maybe the classroom setting is just not for you, and that's why you are struggling. But high school is just a short time in your life. It is not that much of your life when you think of all the rest of your life to follow. It's just kind of a flash in time. So for any of those students who are really feeling the burden of not wanting to be in school because you dislike school, get through it. Because dropping out of school or not engaging in school and not passing with your marks is not going to give you a sustainable life, which can set you up for a lot of failures in life, not just with your not succeeding in the workplace, but it also creates stresses, mental health issues. So power through it. Make those classes important and mandatory to you, because once you are done, you will be able to move on and find other things. If you are a student that struggles to sit down, I'm going to say get into the shop classes. I know for me, I hated math. You want to learn how to do math really well? Take a shop class. It's going to help change your mind about math. You're going to learn math in a practical way, and suddenly math will become a lot cooler. So powering through it is very important. And then once you have that high school diploma and you're ready to go on, then maybe skilled trade is for you, and you won't have to spend as much time sitting in the classroom, and you will be able to earn while you learn if that's a pathway that you decide to take. So my best advice is get through those years, make them important to you, stand up against those challenges and prove to yourself that you can do it, because you can. I did it. I did go back to school and finish to get into the trades. So you know what? You can do it too.
Thank you very much. And the next question, I believe that all the speakers tonight have expertise in answering this question, that how do you get more information about available trade programs? I believe that we mentioned it earlier, but it will not hurt to repeat where the information is, because the information is actually available. So I'm going to throw that anybody who wants to chip in and give some information from their perspective, from their lived experience, from their work experience, please let's give the answer to this question. So Wade, do you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go first. So in high school, there are lots of different programs available, and there are so many, it's hard to mention them all because there's 60 specialist high skills majors. There's, I believe, 13 Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. And the difference between the specialist high skills major and the youth apprenticeship program is the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program is targeted at apprenticeship. And in some of the courses, we are accredited by Niagara College to deliver the level 1. And the specialist high skills major is targeted at all pathways. So college, apprenticeship, workplace, or university. So I would go to haltonpathways.ca and you can search all the programs there. But there's lots of different programs after high school in college, and there's many programs now that the government has sponsored And you really have to go to each college's site. And there's a lot of introductory programs or pre-apprenticeship programs in those that are free. So there's a lot. There's the Niagara College, Conestoga. There's many different places you can look at and find out what is offered at those. And they're not necessarily readily available, but you have to go and look for them. And there's the program at the center in Burlington. There's some fantastic programming happening there where they introduce people to the skilled trades and help them find jobs after high school. But in high school, typically that's the different programs will be found at Halton Pathways, or I would tell the student, go down and talk to the tech ed department and talk to the teachers, look in the classrooms, see what is there. Not sure if Jamie would like to add to that.
You know it. So there's so much, like just through the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program alone, you will learn about 144 different careers that have paid apprenticeships attached to them. And then when you're out of school, you know what? It's hard to decide. There's so many careers. Everything around us requires somebody in the infrastructure world to be able to build. So there's different programs. Skills Ontario was a great thing for that. When they had their live exhibits, you could go and see, thousands of different employers and try out all these hands-on things. And that's really important too. It's that try out thing. There is the new program that I was just talking about earlier called Tomorrow's Trades. It has just been funded by the Ontario government. And the whole point of this program is to get students or anybody interested in this trades. I mean, I was there last week and they had students from 18 years old to a 46-year-old in this program. And they give them 8 to 12 weeks of hands-on experience jumping from trade to trade with different training facilities. Some were in unions, some were with employers. And they got to try all these different trades throughout those weeks and then really hone in on what their talents and abilities are and where they can connect to those things. I don't just push union. I'm a union worker. I chose union for specific reasons, but one of the great things that you can do is go to the Canadian Building Trades website. On that, you will find a directory of every single skilled trade, and each one of them are broken down. So just because I'm an iron worker doesn't mean I only have one trade. An iron worker can be a rigger, a welder, a connector. Electricians have residential, industrial. There's so many different sectors within in each skilled trade too. So maybe you want to be a carpenter, but you don't want to work just specifically building wood. You might want to be a carpenter scaffolder. So there's so many different opportunities. So the thing is, you have to look at it, explore the opportunities, try to get some hands-on experience, and then from there you can choose the pathway that you like most.
Thank you, Jamie. Angela, do you have anything to add to what they have said?
No, actually, they both did such a great job. I can't add anything to that.
Thank you. The next question I'm going to direct at Wade, that what is the minimum age requirement to sign up for an apprenticeship?
Well, there is an age requirement. Typically, you need to be 18, but if a student is in high school and they are out on a co-op in any of the 144 apprenticeable trades, through the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, they can register as an apprentice. So apprenticeship really could start at 16 years old once the student is finished, 15 years old, actually, once they finish grade 10 and have a minimum 14 credits, students can start an apprenticeship. But if a student is out of school and they chose to start an apprenticeship, they could still start one, but many of the trades are different. Under the construction umbrella, typically it's a minimum of grade 10 for some of them, but some of the compulsory trades require an OSSD, so your high school diploma. So no, they're not all the same, but in high school, they can start one at minimum age 15 with once they completed grade 10.
Thank you, Wade. The next question is, what programs are available with kids with disabilities? And these parents said that their daughter has been diagnosed with mild intelligence disorder. So Wade, do you want to answer that question or give suggestion?
Absolutely. The Halton District School Board, in every tech ed class, they welcome students with any disabilities. They'll help them out the best they can and try to help them strive for success. So really, I would say any skilled trade program or any of the what we call a 10 BBTs, the 10 broad-based technologies in Halton, any students with disabilities, whether they're physical or mental, often take those courses, and sometimes you're quite successful and sometimes you're not. But regardless, the teachers will help them out to do the best they can do to help them succeed.
Thank you, Wade. Another thing that I would like to add is that since the student already has a diagnosis in public school, there is actually a public policy that all students must be given everything that they need to succeed. So the success of your child is going to be paramount, and then there is a lot of support system that is going to be wrapped around your child to ensure that they reach their maximum potential. So the next question is, I can answer this. Will this presentation be recorded and on YouTube for future reference? Yes, the presentation is going to be on YouTube just a few minutes after this program is over. You can actually use the same link that you're using to view us right now, and you'll be able to view the program on YouTube. All the programs are usually warehoused on HDSB's YouTube channel, so it's going to be available. So the other question is, for a student who has already completed high school, is there value in taking the 2-year programs offered by various colleges before finding apprenticeship? So Wade?
I think that is a perfect question for Jamie. And I could build on it too afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You know what? There's always value in education. And I will say that, okay, for someone like me, sitting still in a classroom wasn't the best thing. I probably would have done really good in a tech program because a lot of it is hands-on. So getting that value, that education is good. And here is one of the reasons why when I talk about students going and doing the college program before they get into the trades, when you get in the trades, you're earning while you're learning on the tools, but you're not learning everything the same way because you're learning it as you go. Whereas in school, you actually learn a lot more about the theory than the practical in the beginning. So a lot of the things that I've noticed throughout the years is that some of the students that have actually gone to school before they jumped into a career with an employer are usually quick to climb up that ladder because they're coming in and they don't have problems a lot of times learning how to read those blueprints. They already learned how to do it in school. They know a lot more about the engineering and all that other side that is the theory on the opposite side that most of us who have gone into a skilled trade get with hands-on. The other thing is in an education system, they get more of a well-rounded experience of everything. Whereas if you just get into an apprenticeship, oftentimes you might just be put on specific jobs. And when you get really good at those jobs, you never get to explore other things and learn other things because you end up being put in that area. So like something I tell apprentices all the time, if you're going to get into the skilled trades, this was told to me and I appreciated it. If you go out and get your welding ticket right away, you're always going to end up welding and you're never going to become a well-rounded skilled person in that trade because you're not going to learn all the other things. You're going to learn how you're going to weld all the time. So for me, any education is good. If you have that ability to sit through a class, I wish I did. I would have gone to school and taken some of those programs before I got into the trades. So it just depends on who you are and what your competence level is and how you deal with education. Are you academic, hands-on? What do you choose? It's up to you.
Thank you.
Jamie. I just build on that a little bit. I do get that question quite often from high school students who have taken the specialty programs, and then once they've gone out in a co-op and they will be working with someone, they'll be offered an apprenticeship, and they'll ask me, should I go to college first? And I tell them that's really your decision. And I inform them the similar things that Jamie just mentioned. But I do make sure that they're aware that even if they do a two-year college program, they still have to do their apprenticeship. So the college programs are great to give them a lot of well-rounded information so they can leave college, hopefully find an apprenticeship and a sponsor and start their apprenticeship. And sometimes that happens in school through co-ops. It depends on the program, but regardless whether they do the college programs or whether they just leave high school, start an apprenticeship, they still have to go through that apprenticeship process. So either they could do the 2-year college program and then start their apprenticeship, or they could just go straight to apprenticeship. So a lot of times I'll tell the students, it's really what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with the skills you have, you match up with an employer and you have those connections, the apprenticeship pathway all on its own is great. If you need to build up your skills, you want to be a little bit more rounded, take the college course, but you will still have to do the apprenticeship once you complete it.
Thank you. I would show this question open, but I believe Jamie will have strong answer for this as well. How can students determine which skill trades to go into? And how do you change if you realize you want to change to another? I believe that Jamie gave an example of a program that is currently running right now where you may not even need to do that, where you can test drive a lot of skilled trades in a short while. And there's a similar program in grade 9 at HDSB as well. It's called Integrated Technology classes, where students go from rotation to rotation. So Jenny, do you want to give tell us about the program that you referenced earlier?
Okay, yeah.
Where students went into 8 or 12-week program test driving different trades.
Yeah, it's called Tomorrow's Trade. So first of all, I'm going to say, while you're in high school, utilize those elective credits that you have. Take all those shop classes and construction classes. Take them. And if you don't like them, hey, you learn the practical life experience. It's going to save you thousands of dollars because you'll have the ability to fix your own things. But if you learn that you like them, maybe in school you learn you really like auto mechanic and you want to become an auto mechanic. But in order to choose that one that you want to go through, sometimes there's quite a lengthy process to get in to a trade and get an apprenticeship. So if you start an apprenticeship and you realize a couple months in, I don't really like this, then there's another process to go through to try and get into another one. And this is where this Tomorrow's Trades program is really, really putting, people ahead of that curveball, because throughout this program, it's a fast track program where you're going to spend a bit of time in all these different facilities learning. So the program that I just participated in, the classroom, they spent a little bit of time with electrical, a little bit of time with plumbing, welding, masonry. This week they're doing a Habitat for Humanity build. And as they go through the program, they're getting those skills. And it's funny because they're learning whether they have that technique and like it and want to continue with it, or they're learning that, no, I just don't have a knack for this and I can't do it. So for example, we had three young men and 3 women in this program. And at first they all wanted to be stonemasons when we were over at the stonemason. Then we went over to welding and we found out that the 3 women and one of the guys had an incredible knack for welding. They were just naturals. And now they want to pursue that career because they would have never known without trying it that they had that ability. So a program like that to me is amazing. And not only is it amazing because it gives you that hands-on skills, it's also putting you in those training centers in front of those training directors and employers. And if you show them that you could do it really well, then you already have your foot in the door for a potential apprenticeship before you even finish this program.
Thank you very much. And now we have come to the end of the questions. So thank you sincerely to all of our presenters this evening, including HDSB school programs. Jamie, thank you so much. Your passion shows through. Angela, thank you for giving us the details. Wade, thank you very much for all the information. And behind the scenes to make sure that everything runs very smoothly is Kevin Rapport, who has been doing a great job for us. So thank you, everybody. So thank you to all the students, parents, and guardians that submitted questions, and to everyone who tuned in to make this learning opportunity a priority. We hope sincerely that you have been informed, entertained, and inspired, and that you will continue to look for ways for your child to explore the exciting opportunities that the trades and technologies have to offer, and for them to uncover their individual pathways. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.